Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How's it?
Good evening.
How's
Good
everyone?
evening.
Is everyone well?
Rob.
Yep.
How are you? Is everyone well?
Thank God.
Yes, we are.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. So nice to hear everyone. Where are you? I see myself. Am I there? I don't know where. Okay, I'm there. Okay, Dr. Les with us. Everyone with us. Baruch Hashem. Okay, so I'm going to mute everyone because there's a hell of a noise in the background. Dr. Les, you can unmute yourself. I'm on a picture now. I hope that you can all hear me. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Dr. Les, give us the news, please.
Yes.
Okay, I just was thinking about this. You know, it's an amazing thing. We said on Simchas Torah, here we said Mashiach Baruch Hu Moridag Hashem, and we actually got rain. It's amazing. You know, this I cannot tell you. Living in Israel, and when you read in Tanakh and you read in the Chumash and you read in the Siddur, and it actually comes true, and the weather's changed. It's just unbelievable that it changed at this particular time. but it's just amazing. So such a blessing, and I just wish you all could be here and you all will come, please God. But they are opening. They think that they're going to be opening up the for people to come from South Africa to come to Israel, and just we want to wish you all a Baruch Haba when you do come. But it's nice. It's you see people. It's life is getting back to normal again. Baruch Hashem.
No, Baruch Hashem. It's very important. It's very, very important. Okay.
To you all.
Please God. So first of all, I would like to wish everyone Rosh Chodesh Tov, Meshiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGeshem, Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan. Baruch Hashem. Thank you, Dr. Les, for all the updating. Here in South Africa, we're expecting load shedding at 9 o'clock, so I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to start immediately with the shiur. We on shiur on Parashat Noach. Louis, when you're ready, just unmute yourself. Okay, so we're going to dedicate the shiur in the name of Esther Kaden Bat Ketia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Harav Avraham Haim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar bat Zehava, Rachel bat Malka Sultana, Yaakov Salomon ben Farhad, Dvorah Ruth bat Beila, Vehaim Eliyahu ben Yeshayahu. Please God that the shiur will be to uplift their soul. Also, Lerefuah. What it means, Lerefuah, in health of Liora bat Miriam, Menashe Naji ben Farha, Orna Bluma bat Miriam, Arav Avraham ben Marima, Arav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Arav Moshe ben Devorah, Eitan ben Hadassah, Israel ben Zisa, Mordechai David ben Leah, Yosef ben Esther, Dvorah bat Esther, Tzadok ben Sarah, Shulamit bat Haya Shein Alea, Vedavid Yitzhak ben Hava Leah Yehudit. Please God, רפואה שלמה to them and to כל חולי ופצועי עמו ישראל בכל מקום שהם. Okay, we're going to start the shiur now. We in Parashat Noach, and Parashat Noach start like this. Ele toldot Noach. Noach, ish tzadik tamim, haya bedorotav.
These are the offsprings of Noach. Noach was a righteous man, perfect in his generation. Noach walked with God.
Okay, here we see something very interesting about Noah, but first I'm going to do the introduction for the Parasha. Noah born in the year 1056 for the creation to his father Lemech and to his mother Ashmoa bet Elishua. In the year 1536 from the creation, HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed to Noah for the first time that he's planning to bring a flood to the world. That means it's 100 years before the flood. Noah in that time was in the age of 480 years old, and he started building the ark, And that's where Hazal learned that it took Noah to build the ark 120 years. In the year 1554 for the creation, okay, Noah married his wife, Naamah. Naamah was the daughter of Hanoch, sorry, the daughter of Hanoch. And when Noah married Naamah, Noah was in the age of 498 years old, while Naamah was in the age of 580. She was almost 100 years older. Listen to that, almost 100 years older than Noah. Okay, in the year 1556 from the creation, Noah in the age of 500, okay, then you have the firstborn Yefet. A year later, you have his second son, Ham. In the age of 502, that means another year, after that, he have his little son, Shem. So that's where the descendants of all the Jews come. Okay, during the years, there's noise at the back. I need to mute everyone because if I hear a little bit of noise, for some reason, I can't focus. Don't know why. Louis, you unmute yourself just now. Okay. During those years, Noah tried, obviously, to speak to his people from his generation to do tshuva, but obviously nothing happened. In the year 1656 for the creation, Noah and his wife and his son and his daughter-in-law and the animal started to enter the Teva. And the 17th of Heshvan, okay, the flood starting in that year, and the 17th of Heshvan, the flood starting to come down into the world. Noah in that time was in the age of 600. In the year 1657 from the creation, the flood stopped. HaKadosh Baruch Hu stopped the flood after a year. At the beginning, Noah sent the crow. He make a circle and he come back. Then he sent the dove. The dove been sent 3 times, not like many people think that it's been sent twice. Noah sent the dove again make a circle and come back. After that, after 7 days, Noah sent again the dove. This time the dove, when she gone, she brought a leaf of an olive tree with her. After that, 7 days later, he sent her again. He sent the dove for the 3rd time. And this time the dove flew away and never come back. When Noah came out of the ark, we know that he built the ark. And on the ark, from the Teva, when he came out of the ark, he built an altar, and he started bringing sacrifice. He sacrificed the kosher animal and the kosher birds to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Torah tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu have so much pleasure and enjoyment from the smell of the korbanot that he promised that he will never bring flood anymore to the world. And the sign for it was the rainbow in the heaven. We know that Noah, when he came out, he planted a tree of grapes. After that, he got drunk. He made wine and he got drunk. In the year 1788 from the creation was the story of the building of the Tower of Babel. That means that in that time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed the languages of all the people, because until then the Zohar HaKadosh said that they used to speak Sfat HaKodesh, that means Hebrew, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu spread them all over the world. That means that in the year 1788 from the creation, that when was the story of Migdal Bavel. Why is the city of Babylon called Babylon? Hazal explained that HaKadosh Baruch Hu balal. What it means balal? Separate the languages, okay? Balal it's fatam. And that's why it's called Bavel. Milshon balal. That's why the city that called Bavel, that's in Iraq, Babylon. That's why it's called Bavel. Now we're going to start the Parsha, and as Louis read it so beautifully, we have to understand. It says, Elul Toldot Noach. The Torah tells us that Noach was a righteous man and a tamim. I don't know what the right explanation. Louis, maybe you can help me, or anyone else. The word tamim, how would you translate it?
I would say very righteous.
Okay.
A very righteous man.
Okay. Very, very righteous man. So the Torah tells us that Noah was a very, very righteous man. And I saw in a book that's called Doresh Tzion, that's been written by Rav Ben Tzion Mutzafi Shalita. And he explained that Noah lived in a generation that everyone was wicked. Not only that everyone was wicked and the land was full of Hamas, okay? We know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu could not find any rectification for those people. That means that that generation can never do tshuva. That means that they didn't have a hope. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the flood into the world. Why? Because that generation can never do tshuva. The generation of the flood was so corrupt and was so wicked that there is no chance. And also, we see that Noah himself managed to survive during that difficult time. And I would like to bring a story and then try to explain what's happened in a story, and it's a true story, to what's happened with Noah. The story goes like this. The story starts with the Gaon Mivilna. The Gaon Mivilna, you all know, Rabbi Eliyahu ben Shlomo Zalman Mivilna. He born around 301 years ago. There is some say that he born in Lita, some say in Vilna. It's all the same area. It's not the point at the moment. But one day he met the Magid Miduvna. The Magid Miduvna, it's Rabbi Yaakov Krentz. Rabbi Yaakov Krentz born 300 years ago in Lita. And when he met him, he said to him, Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Yaakov. He said, Rabbi Yaakov, you traveling different city, different town, and different schools, you meet different people all the time. And to each one of them, and each city, and each shul, you give Musar. You give him Divrei Musar. The only one that you never give Musar is to me. Rabbi Yaakov Krentz, at the beginning, was shocked that the Gedol Ador, the Gaon Mivilna, gonna ask him to give Divrei Musar to him. It's Gedol Ador, what are you talking? Say the Gaon Mivilna to Rabbi Yaakov Krentz like this. Every person need Musar, even Gedol Ador. And Rabbi Yaakov agreed in the end, and he said, Musar, what can I say? So he said to him, listen, Rabbi Eliyahu, you know, it's not a chokhmah to be the Gaon Mivilna if all day you sit at home and you have only 4 walls. Chokhmah to be the Gaon Mivilna when you're moving on. What it means moving on? When you go and you go to London, you go to Amsterdam, you go to the central station, when you meet people, when you integrate with people, it means the chokhmah to be the Gaon Mivilna. It's not when you lock yourself behind 4 doors, behind 4 walls. The chokhmah is to be the Gaon Mivilna when you integrate with people, when you go and you meet, you work, you associate with other people. And although all of that, you still keep your personality and you keep your identity as a Jewish and become a righteous person, and you become the Gaon. That's the chokhmah. So from here we see what was the idea behind. Say the Mefarshim explained, and also Rabbi Ben Tzion Mutzafi explained like this, that the chokhmah behind it is the Torah tell us that Noah was a righteous man. When he was a righteous man, Noah was a righteous man during the worst generation that was, one of the worst generation. That they sin with immorality. Not only that, they sin with idol worshipping. and with gezel. Gezel is robbery. So from here, we see something very important. We see that Hazal tell us and teach us that although all of those challenges that Noah have, he still was a righteous man. That he had to face people, he had to speak to people. There is the influence. There's a major influence of the society, because usually people that integrate with other people, there is, unfortunately, after a while, people influence on you. Noah was a righteous man. Not only that he was a righteous man, he was very righteous, that he never been influenced by others. And that's what the Torah comes to tell us, that although that Noah have challenges, he still kept himself and he became a righteous. Now, I'm going to bring the Rabbeinu Behaya. Rabbeinu Behaya that I'm going to bring, Rabbeinu Behaya ben Asher, he born in the city of Saragossa in Spain 776 years ago. And he's a matter of fact, what we call it tzaddik, righteousness, there is three different levels. The first level of a person that you can call him a righteous, that everything that you do, you're doing it straight. Everything is doing according to halacha, according to the book, what we call it in English. He doesn't have no left, no right. There is black or white, and he go with the white. There's no gray in the middle. And that's the first level of a person that will be called righteous person. After that, there's a higher level, a higher madrega, okay, from the first one, that when a person do everything, not only with other people, also with himself, 100%. What does it mean? That when he find a leniency, he's not always looking for a leniency. He doesn't go to Rabbi Google and he search the halacha, and when he find a leniency, okay, I'll go with that. When most of the halacha say no, he'll find a one rabbi that given a leniency, and with that he go. No. Say, Rabbeinu Behaya, that everything that he do, he doesn't do any tricks. The halacha said to do, he done. He doesn't play game. That's a higher level, that not only that he's righteous, he's 100% righteous also with his heart. That means no tricks. He doesn't look for any different leniency. The third level of righteousness, that's the highest, listen to that. It's said that there is a person that all the time, whatever he do, he had the Almighty with him. That means when he go on holiday, when he go on business, when he go to work, whatever he do, he have in mind the Almighty. What does it mean? Is the Almighty going to be happy with the way that I behave on holiday, the way that I behave on a business, the way that I behave when I go to work with my workers or with my colleagues, and etc. And that's what Hazal say, that Et Elohim italech Noach, Noach all the time have the Almighty in his mind. Whatever he thought, it was what HaKadosh Baruch Hu will think about him. And that's the highest level. I'm going to bring now what Ari HaKadosh going to tell us. Ari HaKadosh is Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi. He born in Jerusalem 487 years ago. And he actually find certain hints, and not only that, certain situation that happened to Moshe Rabbeinu and to Noah to prove that they from the same soul. For example, he said like this. Let's start like this, he said. Noah, to survive where he was, in a teva. During the flood, for a year, Noah was in a teva. That's how he saved his life. The teva saved his life. Say Moshe Rabbeinu, how has he been saved from the decree of the Egyptian to kill every male that born in Egypt? By that his mother put him in a teva. That means that the teva saved Noah and the teva saved Moshe Rabbeinu. Not only that, Noah, while he was in an ark, in a teva, for those 12 months, he had to separate from his wife. Obviously that they lived together in a teva, but they couldn't have physical relationship. we see the same happen with Moshe Rabbeinu. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed himself to Moshe Rabbeinu, what happened? That Moshe became Isha Elokim. What it means become Isha Elokim? The man of God. Then we know that he separated from his wife Tzipporah. Again, the same situation that happened to one, happened to the other one. Said the Ari HaKadosh, I'm going to bring you now a different idea to prove that Moshe, that the soul of Moshe was the soul of Noah. In Sefer Shmot, in Parashat Kitisa, in chapter 32, verse 32, Lev, okay? Lamed Bet, it is Lev, is a heart. It said there in a verse something very interesting. It said, Meheni na misefrecha asher katafta. What it means? Moshe Rabbeinu said to the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you're going to destroy that nation that was after the sin of the golden calf, please erase my name from your holy book. Say Ari HaKadosh, you know, if you take the word mehenina, the two words, mehenina, erase me, okay, that's the English translation. If you twist the letters, you'll see that you'll get minoahani. I'm from Noah. That's me. That here Moshe Rabbeinu hinting to us in the Torah, say Ari HaKadosh, that it's Ari HaKadosh, we all know that was one of the great mystical rabbi that we have. And he say, Mehenina minoahani. My soul is from the soul of Noah. He say, you want to find another thing? No problem. In chapter 33, in the same parsha, in Parashat Kitisa, in chapter 33, verse 13, what does Moshe Rabbeinu say? Imna matzati hen be'enecha. That means if I find the favor in your eyes. Say Ari HaKadosh, hen, if you take the word hen, change the letters nun and het, instead of het, nun, that's het, hen, that means like, favorite, change that letters to nun and het, you'll get the letters Noah. Again, Moshe Rabbeinu said, here he proved that his soul, say Ari HaKadosh, from the soul of Noah. So we see from here that, what are we learning from here? That Moshe, that the soul of Moshe was the soul of Noah, the same neshamot, the same souls. And then in the end, towards the end of the verse, it said bedorotav, the word bedorotav, and his generation, in plural. And many of the Mefarshim say, why does it say like this, in plural? It should say, Noach, ish tzadik tamim haya bedoro. Noah was a righteous man in his generation. What it means in single, bedoro, and his own. No, here it says in generations with S. That means many generations. Many of the Mefarshim say, why? Why write many generations? Why Noah lived in his generation? No, generation, all of those. So to answer to that, many of the Mefarshim explain, and the answer to it actually come from the Mishnah and Masechet Avot. That's brought by many of the Mefarshim, also Arab, Ben Shion, Chafi Shalita bringing it. He said, look at the Mishnah and Masechet Avot. In chapter 5, in Mishnah Bet, it says, Asara Dorot, me'adam harishon ve'ad Noach. The Mishnah, Hazal and the Mishnah tell us that was 10 generations from Noah, from Adam Harishon, from Adam until Noah. That means that Noah lived during that time. Then the Mishnah continue and tell us, Asara Dorot mi Noach ve'ad Adam Harishon. That means that Noah again lived until Avraham Avinu, another 10 generations. So we learn from here that, a matter of fact, that it said bedorotav, that the Torah tells us that in his generation, in plural, you know why? Because Noah merit to live in many generations. And that's why the Torah tells us bedorotav. I would like to move on because I'm frightened from the load shedding and the time is 8:30 or 8:25. I don't want to be cut, so I'm actually going to accelerate today with the shiur. Let's move to chapter 6, verse 14, Louis. And it says like this, עשה לך תיבת גופר, עשה לך תיבת עצי גופר, קנים תעשה את התיבה, וקברת אותה מבית ומחוץ בכופר.
14, let me just find that, sorry, Rolf. Chapter 6, verse 14. Okay, I've got it. They and every beast after its kind, every animal after its kind, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, and every bird of any kind of wing.
I think that you ranked the wrong one. 14. עשה לך תיבת עצי גופר.
Yeah,
chapter 6, verse 14.
Yeah, chapter 6.
Verse 14. It doesn't speak about bird. It speaks about the teva. Made the teva.
And that takes me to chapter 8, yeah.
Okay. Chapter 6, verse 14.
Chapter 6, that's what I'm looking at.
Verse 14. Made the teva from a special wood.
Hang on. It's yeah. Yeah. Make for yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make the ark with compartments and cover it inside and out with pitch.
Okay, here HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Noah, make the teva, make the ark from the wood that's called gopher, okay, and make compartment, different section. Rashi HaKadosh actually take the word kanim. Rashi HaKadosh is Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki. He born in the north of France in the city of Troyes, and he born 981 years ago. And he said that when it say here kanim, it's different compartment, different section in a table. And we have to understand what did Rashi try to explain to us? What is different compartment? So the Mefarshim explain like this, listen to that. Listen, how Noah was considerate. Noah, when he built the teva, he made a different compartment. He made the compartment number one that was solid from wood, and then inside he made also compartment that make what we call it for like a partition, dry walling. They didn't have dry walling, but from a thinner wood. And Hazal explained, why did Noah have to make so many different compartments? The Mefarshim explained like this: Noah was a righteous man, and he was considerate what happened to every animal. Look at this consideration, because certain animals eat in certain time. Certain animals sleep in certain time. Noah didn't want to make one big compartment and to leave all the animals to be together. Therefore, what is he done? What did he done? He done like this. He done that he took the middle section. First of all, let me introduce the teva been built from 3 different levels. On the top level, on the third level, Noah and his kids and his wife lived. And the middle level, that was all the animal. And the first level, the bottom level, that was all the garbage that left. So when Noah built the second level, he made so many compartments that not any animal will disturb each other. That these certain animals sleep early, they can go to sleep. Certain animals at night, they're awake, like predators. They're not going to disturb those that need to sleep early. They want to eat, they eat in different time. He was so considerate, Noah, that Hazal tell us, Atse Gofer Kanim. That means that he make different compartment to each animal. Now, we're going to get to a different question. Why is the teva And that question been asked by Moshe Yehezkel Salah. He born in a city of Baghdad 125 years ago in Iraq. And he asked a question, what is the Teva? Why they call the Teva Teva? Why they didn't call it a ship or a boat or many other name like a ferry, whatever? Why did they call it Teva? Why did they give the Teva, the ark, a name of Teva? Why is it so special? Why not any other name? So he explained, Rabbi Moshe Yehezkel Salah explained like this. He said that if you look at the Teva, from whichever angle you looked at it, from the top, from the side, from all different angles that you look at the Teva, it looks like a Teva, like an ark. What it means, Teva in Hebrew mean? Argaz. Argaz is a box. That means that the ark looked like a box. A box? Why that box? Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Noah, and that will lead us now to the second idea. Why is it called a box? Because Teva in Hebrew is a box. We know that when Avraham Avinu gone to Egypt, we'll learn about it. What happened? He said to Sarah Imenu, enter inside the box that the Egyptian wouldn't see you. Ki isha yefat mareat. That means that Chazal explained that the word Teva means box. So we have to understand, why did they make the Teva to look like a box? And I'm going to bring now two different opinions. So I'm going to bring the idea of the Magid Mimazrich. The Magid Mimazrich was Rabbi of Ber. Rabbi of Ber born in the city of Lukatsi in the Ukraine around 311 years ago. And he said, take the word Teva, divide the letters, you'll see that you'll get Bet Hashem. That the Teva being called Teva because inside the word Teva, you get the word Bet Hashem, the house of Almighty, the house of Hashem. Why is it? Said the Magid Mimazrich, from here you learn something very important. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu all the time looked after the Teva during those 12 months, 24/7 for 365 days. HaKadosh Baruch Hu looked after the Teva. What's hiding behind it? I was searching and I was searching and I couldn't find until HaKadosh Baruch Hu opened my eyes. In Zohar HaKadosh on Parashat Vayakhel, in page 196, folio 1, page 196, folio 1, said the Zohar HaKadosh, you know why the Teva have to be really covered from all corners? He said there's a mystical idea behind it. He said when HaKadosh Baruch Hu given a permission to the angel of death to start striking, and the flood came, the angel of death didn't care if there is righteous or not. He was so angry that he used all of his forces to kill. Said the Zohar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu make the Teva that no human being can be seen or animal can be seen, because otherwise, Has v'shalom, the Teva can be struck by the angel of death. What is he done? He built it like a box. So it's looked like a big log of tree, or big log of wood, or like a house that's floating. That means that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu give him the permission to the angel of death to strike, even if there is tzaddikim, he, Has v'shalom, can be hurt. So therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Noah, when you build the ark, a door that is a ship, make it look like a box. And that's why it's called the Teva. That's the mystical idea behind it. Let's move on now to chapter 7, Louis chapter 7, verse 4. Chapter 7, verse 4. Are you with me there?
I'm ready.
Look at it here. It says something very interesting. Look at the verse. כי לימים עוד 7, אנוכי ממטיר על הארץ 40 יום ו40 לילה, ומחיתי את כל היקום. אשר עשיתי מעל פני האדמה.
For in 7 more days' time I will send rain upon the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and I will blot out all existing that I have made from upon the face of the ground.
Okay, here we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Noah, listen, in 7 days I'm going to bring the flood. And many of the Mefarshim ask, why did you tell Noah that you're given another 7 days? Why is it so important? On a pshat of the Dvarim is to give a chance to that generation. Maybe they'll do tshuva. Maybe they're going to rectify their deeds. Maybe they'll do tshuva. They change their way, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will forgive him. That's on a pshat of the Dvarim. Hazal in a Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, listen to that, in page 108, folio 2. Hazal said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu in those 7 days changed completely, okay? Changed completely the order of the creation. What does it mean? Change the order of the creation. We know that the sun rises in the east and set on the west. HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed the order that now the sun will rise in the west and set on the east. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed the order of the creation just to tell that generation, look, something wrong here. Not only that, Hazal said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for those 7 days, allowed everyone on earth to have the taste of the world to come, the smell of the world to come, the enjoyment, the relaxation, the peace, and the harmony that there is in the world for that generation on those 7 days. Hazal explained, you know why he done it? He done and he given them all of those pleasure that they will understand what they're going to lose. That means 7 days, the entire world see the changing of the creation, the order of the creation. They see the thing completely different, different smell in the air, different pleasure there is in the air. If it's physical and emotional and spiritual, and they didn't change the way, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, now they will understand when I'm going to wipe the entire earth for them to understand what they lost. And that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, another 7 days. He up to everything. For 120 years, he's waiting for them. And he sent Noah to try to rectify and to speak to that generation, to do tshuva, but they didn't want. They didn't want to do atonement. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with his mercy and compassion, given them another 7 days. And those 7 days, what has he done? He given them all the pleasure that there is in the world, and they didn't want to change their deeds. Because the time going to be very short, and I'm frightened again from load shedding. Louis, let's move to chapter 9. I would like to move to chapter 9 because we still have to do the Haftarah. And in chapter 9, verse 20, we're going to speak now regarding the vineyard. Chapter 9, verse 20. Okay,
20, I've got it, Rolf.
You got it there. Okay, good. So it said like this: Vayachel Noach ish ha'adama vayita kerem.
Noah, the man of the earth, debased himself and planted a vineyard.
Okay, we have to understand. The Torah tells us that Noah planted a vineyard, and we have to understand why did Noah have to plant vineyard. By the way, the Zohar in our Parsha in page 73, folio 1, 73, folio 1, the Zohar tells us that on the same day that he planted the root of the tree of the vineyard, miracle happened. The tree grown and brought fruit, and he made wine. And we know what's happened after that. You know, he got drunk, but that's not the point. We have to understand, why did Noah decide to plant the tree of vineyard And why Dafka he suddenly decide to become a farmer? There's many other jobs you can do. No, you decide to become a farmer. Why a farmer? We have to ask ourselves. And why Dafka vineyard? Why Dafka grapes? The fruit of grapes. What's so special about it? There's secret behind. So I saw a commentary of Rabbi Yosef Misning. He wrote a book that's called Arono Shel Yosef, The Coffin of Yosef. That's the name of the book. And he explained, you know why that Noah decided to become a farmer? Because Noah saw that in the generation of the flood, they committed immorality and idolatry. They used to worship idols. And none of that was enough to destroy the world. When did the world destroy? That Hazal tell us when they nehtemu b'gezel. What it means, gezel, robbery. When they sin in robbery, HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished them and he destroyed. Say Noach to himself, I have all the world. It's me and my 3 kids and their wife and my wife and the animal. All the land in the world belong to me at the moment and my kids. I'm going to take land and I'm going to start become a farmer. Why? Because whatever I grow, I can eat and I don't have to rob. And that message he tried to tell his kids, that when you work for yourself as a farmer, you can't rob anyone. What do? You eat from it, you sell it. You don't have to go and steal from other people. Say Rabbi Yosef Mesning, from here you learn why did Noah decide suddenly to have a new profession and to become a farmer. Okay, that's we answer why Dafka, he decided to become a farmer. But why to plant grapes? Why Dafka grapes? So Hazal explained, you know why Dafka grapes? Because the tree of grapes, you can never graft it with any other tree. The grapes, the tree of grapes, it's so sensitive. As soon as you try to graft it with any other kind of tree, it will die. It will never take. Here Noah tried to tell his kids by that he planted, and he tried to send message to us. The same like the grapes can never be grafted with any other kind of tree, you have to be careful not to associate with people that they're not decent. Because you see what's happened to the world when people wasn't decent. The entire world, what's happened to the entire world? Completely been wiped off. HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroyed the entire world. That means that Noah come and teach us here Musar, Rabotai. Noah come teach his son and us how much you have to be careful not to associate with people that they're not decent. Why? Because Hazal explained that inevitably, even if you're a righteous person, but you associate with non-decent people, that would influence you in the end. That means that those unstraight people, not decent, crooks, whatever name you want to give them, it's not really the point now. That's going to affect you in the future. And not only that it will affect you, you learn from the deeds, and you might going to become one of them. How Hazal explained that? Hazal call it Beta Bursukai. What it means, Beta Bursukai? It's a place that they actually, after they shech the animal, they take the skin and they work on it, okay? They're developing the skin. And they make from the skin whatever they make from it. They make from it a coat, they make from shoes, whatever. Hazal said, the same give us an analogy to it. A person that doesn't work on that factory, but he go inside the factory. Hazal said the smell there is so terrible that if a person just walk in and out, the smell stuck into himself that you have to do 100 shawa, maybe it will help you. So Hazal said the same thing. When a person associates with people that they crooks, not decent, people that they have all different criminal mind, although that you're righteous in that specific moment, that will affect you in the future. And that's why Noah, when he get out of the Teva, the first thing that he done, he sacrificed, we said, on an altar. He built the altar and he sacrificed the kosher animal. What did he sacrifice? Obviously, all the kosher animal and the birds. But the second thing that he done, and the Zohar said it, that he planted the vineyard. And on the same day, the grape grew, it was a miracle. And he made from a wine, and then he drank. The drinking, it's a different situation. It's to teach us not to drink. The Torah tells us that story, that at the beginning, a person happy when he drink. After a while, he started behaving differently. And we saw what's happened. What's led Noah to what's happened. That there's different opinion in the poskim, according to the pshat of the dvarim, that Ham saw his father naked, he gone and told his brother. Is that the Gemara there in Masechet Sanhedrin said that he actually sterilized his father, okay? But that's a different issue. So what do we learn from here? That the Torah come and tell us, number one, the idea behind the grape was that it cannot mix. And a human being should be careful not to be mixed with not decent people. That's the one message. The second message is that the Torah tried to tell us that when you're drinking, you have to be careful how you're drinking. Everything in moderation. Because the drink, the alcohol, it doesn't make a difference if it's wine. In daytime there was wine. But today there's many different alcohol that wasn't in olden day. Can lead you in the end, Has v'shalom, when a person gets drunk, to embarrass yourself, and that can lead to a tragedy. And that's what's happened with Noah. And that's why the Torah come to teach us those few ideas. With your permission, I'm really frightened of the load shedding, because here if they say 9, it can be before, it can be after. I would like to move to the Haftarah. Louis, can we move to the Haftarah?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm really short tonight, but I'm really frightened of the load shedding that you're going to miss. So I'm trying to squeeze as much as I can, and I'm just accelerating. So the Haftarah is, the Haftarah that we're going to read this coming Shabbos, it's from the prophet Yeshayahu. In chapter 54, verse 1. And the Torah tells us, like, the prophet tells us like this. Okay, Runi akara lo yalada, pitzhirina muchali, lo hala, ki rabim bene shomema, mibne be'ula, amar Adonai.
What's going on here? Sorry, Rob, I've just can't find that Torah here. That's straight to Lech Lecha.
No, before Lech Lecha. Before Lech Lecha.
I know it's before Lech Lecha. And you say some 54.
It's Haftarat Yeshayahu in chapter 54, 1, and chapter 5 until chapter 5. Runi Akara. Or Rani Akara.
Let me just check here what page you can find. Sorry. Oh, 1131. There we are. Sorry,
No, it's okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, read it. Read verse 1.
Verse 1. Sing out, O barren one. who has not given birth, break out into glad song and be jubilant. O one who has not labored pains for the children of the desolated Jerusalem, outnumber the children of inhabitable city, said Hashem.
Here we see something very interesting, that the prophet tells us that a barren woman should be happy, listen to that she doesn't have kids. How can a barren woman can be happy that she doesn't have kids? Not only that, he said to her, Pitzherina, start singing, Vetzahali, be happy, be in joy. Why? Because you don't have kids. How can you say that to a barren woman? So Hazal, the Mefarshim, explained that what the prophet actually speak here, he's speaking to the land of Eretz Israel. And he said that what it say Akara, barren, he's speaking to the land of Eretz Israel. That the land of Eretz Israel must be very happy. Many of the people say, what are you talking about? The Mefarshim explained that the prophet said that the land of Eretz Israel should be happy that she's like a barren. What it means like a barren? That there is no natural resources in Eretz Israel. Like we know, in Africa, for example, South Africa, we have a lot of natural resources. We have gold, we have silver, we have copper, we have diamond, and etc. Many other natural resources. These other countries that have oil and natural resources. He said, if you look at Israel, it's like a barren country, said the prophet. There is no natural resources in Eretz Israel. He said, and for that, Eretz Israel, the land of Eretz Israel, you should be happy. The Mefarshim asked, why? Why are you saying it? How can you say such thing? He said that at the moment, the land of Israel doesn't have natural resources that we can see in our eyes. And you know why is it? Because as is the land of Eretz Israel, everyone wanted. We see what our cousin doing to us, the fighting that our cousin doing to us. In the time of the crusade, we know that they all came. They fought for the land of Eretz Israel. They wanted to conquer Eretz Israel, and they managed. In every generation was a fight about the land of Eretz Israel. Said a prophet, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a special favorite and kindness and compassion to that land, that it's in the outside, it looks like she doesn't have any natural resources. You know why? Because if it will be natural resources that people can see that there's a lot of diamond in the land of Eretz Israel, a lot of oil in the land of Eretz Israel, gold, and all the other nature resources that there is in the world, the nation will come and start fighting and will kick out the Jewish people from the country. That means that they're going to wipe up the Jewish nation. For what? Just to conquer the land of Eretz Israel, because there is so many natural resources. He said, because as is, you see the problem that the land had, that people wanted. Imagine if it was natural resources, what would happen? He said, so the land of Eretz Israel, you should be happy that you don't have natural resources that people can see. When the Mashiach comes, then he'll change everything, as the prophet said. That will be beautiful stone, precious stone on every corner, on every street, and they're not going to have a value. But he said, now, until the Mashiach comes, you should be happy that your natural resources is not exposed, that people can't see it. And that's why we should be happy. That's about the Haftarah, and Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit to see Be'ezrat Hashem speedily in our days, that the coming of the Mashiach, the building of Bet HaMikdash, and then we see all the natural resources that will be in Eretz Israel, eyes in eyes, that means ayin be'ayin, that means eye to eyes. Everyone will see it. But by then, HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to be in control in the Mashiach, and then they can't do nothing. But at the moment that the Mashiach didn't come yet, Be'ezrat Hashem, he shall come in our days, speedily in our days, okay, the land have to keep her natural resources hidden from everyone. If there is any question, you can unmute and you can ask, and I definitely will try to answer if I can, Be'ezrat Hashem. Bli neder. B'chavod.
Hello, it's Anthony. How are you?
Baruch Hashem. Antonio, how are you?
Right, thanks. How many
Yes.
people drowned? How many people drowned in the flood altogether? How many people drowned in the flood altogether?
Sure. I really don't know. I have no clue. I can't tell you. I don't know. The entire Earth, that means if you take all of Earth completely wiped off, how many people? I have no idea. Sorry, I can't answer you that. That's a definitely can't answer. I don't think that many people can tell you. Because in that
Thanks
time,
very much.
not many people knew. They didn't have, not every country make how many people was there, how many people wasn't.
Okay, thanks very much.
Pleasure.
Rabbi,
Any other
may I ask
question?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question,
Who's that
if it's
speaking?
possible.
Who's speaking?
Thank Jeffrey Allen.
Oh, Jeffrey. How's it, Jeffrey? Oh,
Hi, Rabbi.
how are you?
I'd just like to ask a question on this. Hashem showed the world with 7 days ahead what it was going to be like in the world to come. You would think that they would grab it. It would be like that. But it's exactly like the same in the world today, isn't it? We want the here and now. We want self-gratification. We're not interested in what's going to happen in the future. So isn't this a warning for us? Isn't this telling us who we are and what we are and the world has become? And that's why we're having all this problem with the rest of the world. And we're separate from them because we do see something ahead of us. We do work towards it. We still try to get our minds around it. That's what we do. But the world is, and if we mix with them, as you quite rightly said with the wine, if we mix with them, we do get tainted and we become like them. And we all end up doing something like them. So you would think, would you not, that the world to come is something very, very special, and you can understand why they didn't accept it. Isn't that so? What do you think?
I'll explain like this. First of all, what you say is 100%. The Zohar Kadosh say that before the Mashiach come, listen to that, before the Mashiach come, the Zohar promised that all the generation that was from the day of the creation until today, they're all going to be reincarnated in the last generation.
Wow.
You know, if you look, people that I'm speaking about homosexuality. Homosexuality in our religion is forbidden. And the punishment, we know the punishment is there. Today, if you look just 20 years back, it was embarrassment to mention that word. Today, people march those pride march, and they're proud about it. That's exactly what it was in a generation of the flood. People robbing, immorality that there is in the world, it's beyond understanding. Exactly that generation. Hazal explained to us that we'll see things unnatural. I remember when I came to South Africa 30 years ago, in summer, during the day was hot. 4 o'clock came, thundering, lightning. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I'm talking about 33 years ago, 30 years ago. 4 o'clock come, you hear the thundering, the lightning, it's rain, pouring, and the sun coming again. Today, it's completely opposite. Look at the weather today. It's rain, it's cold, in summer, in cold. Unnormal. Akadosh Baruch Hu hinting to us, look what's happened to the generation of the flood, try to learn from it. See, I'm changing nature. I'm changing the order of the nature. It can't be that sometime in summer, you have to wear a hot jacket. I never remember 30 years ago. Yes, it was hot, boiling. It came down, it's cooled down, but it was hot. I didn't have to wear a jacket. that the temperature will drop, that I need to wear a jacket in summer. It's unheard of. It's again another sign. So the Zohar tells us, before the Mashiach come, I'm going to do again the same thing that I've done to that generation, and we'll see who's going to survive it. Those that will be like Noah, that will stick to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, stick to the Almighty, stick to the Holy Torah, they will survive. Those that not, we don't know. I don't want to say. You follow?
Yes. Okay. So you're saying that the biggest signs are right there now in front of our eyes with the climate change around the whole world. It's all
sure. Look at the corruption in the world. Look at the corruption in the world. It's beyond understanding. I'm not talking only about South Africa, Jeffrey. I'm not talking here. I'm talking all over. The corruption that there is in every country in the world is beyond understanding. Beyond understanding. That's what I'm saying. So the sign is on the wall. We just have to know how to read them and how to put them together to understand the message. You follow?
Okay, yes, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Eitan, I see that you wanted to ask a question. Bechavod, Eitan.
Yes, sorry, Rabbi. Sorry that I was late. There was a Zoom meeting for the new counselor that, there was a whole Zoom meeting for the past hour.
No problem.
Talking that, so I had to come on to your shiur because it gives me chizuk for the week. So I appreciate that, and I'm really happy to join.
Thank you.
So actually, it's my parasha. So
so you want to tell us a hidush? You tell us a hidush.
Well, I haven't prepared a lot, but I was actually mamish saying to someone the other day, and the Rabbi just touched on the point now, that I said, how is it that we're actually in the same situation we were during the flood? In other words, the corruption, the immorality, everything is basically the same as was before. And I forgot for a moment. I said, so why doesn't Hashem bring the flood now? But he reminded me that Hashem, basically said that the promise that it'll never happen again. But I think the question is now that Hashem had to cleanse the world from all those all those corruption and everything. So that's what I was trying to understand. I think you may have just answered with the Zohar, saying what is it now that Hashem will help us to kind of come back to do tshuva, because there's so much corruption and everything like before. But what is happening now to tell us that, listen, if you don't behave yourself, it's going to be, we can't say another flood because he promised not another flood. But really those signs, and I think you just explained it, which I appreciate, but it's nice to see and hear that we need to look out for those signs, because we need to do tshuva, because we don't know what's, Hashem's plan is. He hasn't explained to us what's going to happen next. Could be worse than the flood, could be any other thing. So thank you for explaining that.
Sure. I'll tell you what else the Zohar say. I'm not going to tell you everything, because then you're not going to sleep at night, because you're going to be afraid. But the Zohar explained that when the Mashiach comes, in Hazal, many of the commentary, not only the Zohar, but the Mashiach comes, it's going to be in a stage. It's going to be a stage that, number one, that the Mashiach going to be the king of the nation. The Mashiach not going to be in charge about us. The Mashiach going to make peace and harmony amongst all the nation in the world. He's going to be their king. That they're going to vote him as a king. Why? Because they say we have enough from all the corruption. We have enough from all the immorality that's happened in the world. That all of those leaders that brought us so down. So the Mefarshim asks, so who's going to look after the Jewish nation? Listen to that, Eitan, listen to that carefully. HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chvodo b'atzmo. The Almighty himself going to be in charge about the Jewish people. That means that the Jewish people are going to be in a different situation, in a different class to all the rest of the nation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will isolate us in a different level. Why? For all of those that stuck to his religion, kept the Torah, kept the mitzvot, they're going to be getting all the rewards that we mentioned in the show, that 7 days before the flood came, okay, HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually given him all the pleasure that will be in the world to come. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then every Jew that have believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, observe the mitzvot, kept the Torah, will benefit from it. And who's going to be in charge about it? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, b'chvodo b'atzmo. The Almighty Himself, He's going to be the king of the Jewish people. While the Mashiach going to look after who? The rest of the nations in the world. Do you understand that? So there is a good thing to look. There's a hope. Bezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have mercy and compassion on all the people in the world. That He doesn't punish us, has v'shalom, or punish the world, has v'shalom, not us. Us definitely not, because we, Baruch Hashem, His nation. He wouldn't punish the world the same like He done in a time that we saw what happened in the flood. Many people get killed, Inquisition, the Holocaust, Hamanitsky and his son with all the program. We don't want to see that anymore. We want to see only good. The Jewish people praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu all the time. And that's what we done in Hag HaSukkot, 70 parim. What it means, 70 parim? 70 sacrifice they brought on Hag HaSukkot. Why? To do atonement to the nation, that the nation will benefit from it. And only on Shmini Atzeret we brought one par. What it mean, one bar? One par, one sacrifice. Why? That here it was the intimate holiday between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Again, to answer all of that, I'm linking what it says on Sukkot, what we explain on Hag HaSukkot and Shmini Atzeret, into what's happening in the Parsha. You follow?
Rabbi Levy.
Yes.
If the Mashiach is going to be the king of all the other nations, that means he's the king of all the Goyim. So my question to you is the Mashiach not Jewish then?
I never said that. I said the Mashiach have to be Jewish.
No, that's a question.
The Mashiach, when he comes, I understand your question, but I have to be very specific. The Mashiach definitely is a Jewish person. The Mashiach, when he comes, he's going to start doing the law and order in the world. But after there is law and order in the world, the Goyim going to choose him to be their leader, that he's going to be their king. They chose him. That's going to be a Jewish king in charge about them. The same like the time of when we have the king. David HaMelech, Shlomo HaMelech. When Shlomo HaMelech was a king, all the world used to come to him, to his chokhmah, to consult with him, to understand how he running the land of Eretz Israel, how is Bet HaMikdash. So that means that the Mashiach will be definitely a Jewish person. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu then will give him that job, that he will look after the nation, and the Almighty going to look after us. That's what I'm saying. There's a big difference. You follow?
But the Mashiach will come. The Mashiach will come in on a donkey to Yerushalayim. Nachon?
Nachon.
And
not only that, he's going to do the resurrection of the dead. He's going to do the ash of the red heifer. You know, the water. He's going to sprinkle, because then we're going to become pure. We explained that. And then we can understand the Torah and we'll never be mahloket anymore.
And he will live in Israel?
For sure. Where are you going to live? In South Africa?
So
I'll tell you another thing that the Zohar say. I'll tell you another thing. The Zohar say, Atida Yerushalayim litpashet al kol Eretz Israel. Jerusalem, the city of Jerusalem, going to be the size of Eretz Israel, not the size of Eretz Israel of today, the size of Eretz Israel that was when the Jewish people conquered in a time of Yoshua bin Nun. Okay? That means part of Damascus, part of when you go towards the Jordanian Valley, going to be much bigger state. That's Jerusalem, just the city of Jerusalem. And then Hazal continues, Ve'atida Eretz Israel, and the land of Eretz Israel titpashet al kol ha'olam kulo. That the land of Eretz Israel, listen, will be all over the world. So we don't understand. It's definitely Eretz Israel. And everyone will listen to the Mashiach. And everyone wants the Mashiach. It's just that the Mashiach will be so busy with the nation that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will look after the Jewish people. Those that obviously observe the mitzvot, that learn Torah, and etc. You follow?
And those who are not Shomer Mitzvot?
Be'ezrat Hashem, they'll do tshuva. Be'ezrat Hashem, they'll do tshuva.
Okay, Shkar, thank you.
Okay, I'm frightened that it's going to be a load shedding. It can cut any minute. If there is any question, no problem, ask. But if there is load shedding, please understand that it's not me. Any other question regarding the Sheol, the Parsha?
Rob, can I just ask you the Mashiach story? I think it's a very not talked about subject. We in the sense of we know Mashiach's coming, B'ezrat Hashem, but it's just not very clear unless you can expand on the idea of the Mashiach. Like you said, he will be the king of the other nations. Hashem will be the king of us. But obviously would have.
I understand. Zal in the Gemara tell us that it's not good. I'll tell you how Hazal said. Yipach ruham shel mehashvei ketzim. The Gemara said. Yipach ruham. What it mean yipach ruham? That their soul going to come out, those that trying to work it out when the Mashiach comes. Why? Because the Gemara continues, B'metuta minaychu. Please, I beg you, do not try to work it out when the Mashiach comes. Every time the Mashiach was supposed to come, and people start telling the date, as a matter of fact, it was a tragedy happened. So that's what many people are afraid to speak about the Mashiach. Why? Because we don't want to delay the coming of the Mashiach. We can speak about Mashiach. We obligate to believe that the Mashiach will come. It's one of the 13 principles. But not to speak about dates when it's going to come, when is it going to happen? That's beyond us. You follow?
Yeah, I think I appreciate that extra information because I think I was more asking about what's going to happen afterwards. I think it's just not very
what's
clear.
What's going to happen after Mashiach come?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like in the sense we know the Tchias HaMesim, we know he'll be king of the nations, Hashem will be king of us. But I'm saying in terms of our purpose in this world, like now we're dying for Mashiach, we're doing tshuva. The purpose in this world is very different when Mashiach comes. Mashiach comes, it's almost like we won't have it's like a bechira will be taken away from us because we'll see straight away that Hashem exists. So what will our purpose really be then? That's what I'm trying to say. How will the world look like? What will be the...
So the Rambam, the great eagle, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, that born in the city of Cordova in Spain 881 years ago. 881 years ago. He said like this: a person will not gonna know what's gonna happen until it was happened. But olam keminago noheg, the world will continue, the Rambam said, but we cannot understand what's gonna happen until the Mashiach comes. Why? Because we're limited. Let me explain to you one idea. When the Mashiach comes, he's gonna sprinkle the red heifer water, and that's gonna cleanse us from all the tumah, that there is in the world, all the impurity that there is in the world. And then we will understand the Torah, listen to that, so clearly that we're not going to have any problem to understand anything from the Torah. You read the Gemara and you'll understand it perfectly. Not only that, we're not going to be mahlokot in Israel. Why? Because everyone understands now. Understand the halacha. So the joys and the pleasure will be that when you learn the Torah, you learn the Torah on a different level. And a level that you don't have to break your head. And a level that you can enjoy what all the mystical rabbi learn. You will understand without any doubt, without any question. It's going to be like you looking at the sun. You know that outside now it's dark, it's night, the same like it's clear to you that now it's night in South Africa. All the pleasure that in the Torah that there is, that Hazal's speaking about, that's what you'll have. That means that the gold, the money, all the things that people are running to thereafter, immorality, or whatever you want to name it, people are not going to enjoy it. Why? Because it will be on a street. Everyone can just go and pick it up. Everyone will have to enjoy, I'm talking about Jewish people, the Holy Torah. And that's where we're going to be. We're going to be in a different level, in a different standard of life, that we will appreciate not the physical, the spiritual part of life, that we don't understand what it's going to be. That's how the Rambam explained. I mean, obviously, I add up some of my word to you to give you the analogy to understand where we're going to be. You follow, Eitan?
Thank you, Rabbi. Yes, I appreciate that. I was just also just trying to understand in terms of doing tshuva, and in the sense of now we have bechira, right? We have the choice to do right and wrong because we don't see Hashem properly. But now I'm saying then it'll be so clear that Hashem exists. So therefore, the purpose of life is going to change. It's going to only be already like enjoying from the Torah. It won't be like, should I do right and wrong? You won't have that choice anymore. So it's almost like a lamabau. It'll be like melachim. I mean, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Sure. Look, we'll be people, but not going to be any war. No more war. All of that's going to change. That they're going to take all the vessel that they use for war, all the weapon, and they're going to use it, because not going to be anymore the Yetzer Hara, not going to be the evil inclination. And you say it every morning. ועלו מושיעים בהר ציון לשפוט את ערשיו. והייתה לאדוני המלוכה, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. And that time when the Mashiach comes, all the world will know that there is only one Mashiach. All the world will know that there is one God. And the God is going to be in charge about all of us. So there's no more Yetzer Hara. There's no more idol worshipping. There's no more evil inclination. And if there's no more evil inclination, there's nothing to worry. The world gonna go to cleansing in a different level that we don't understand. Once that all the world will know that there's only one God, and there is no more Yetzer Hara, you're not gonna do any more avarot. Hazal tell us, Vegar Ze'ev im keves, that a wolf will live together with a sheep, and at the time of the Mashiach. It's a different world. That even the predator's animal that was in a time before the flood used to eat only straw. That's what's going to happen.
So, what is the key thing right now? What is the key thing right now that we can do to bring that? Because obviously that, it sounds incredible and amazing. You don't want sickness. You had the times of Noach where he tried to make care of the world. Hashem brought the flood. I mean, the Mashiach should have come then. The time of Abraham, when he recognized Hashem, like Mashiach should have come then. There's so many times. What is it now that we can do, that Rav can say right now, that every day we should be doing to bring Mashiach now? Because the story you've said now is beautifully painted. And I think if we truly believe that, we can take away all the suffering, all the money problems, we should be yearning like this, like a person starving for food. Why aren't we yearning for this so desperately? Is it because we don't believe enough, or we just, what is it that we can do every moment to bring this Yeshua?
Hazal explained to us like this. מה יעשה אדם וינצל מחבלו של משיח? You want to survive חבלו של משיח, the pain burst of משיח, יעסוק בתורה ובגמילות חסדים. You want to survive those difficult times? I'm giving you two 2 reasons. That means I'm giving you 2 suggestions and you have to stick to it. Ya'asok b'Torah, learn Torah, u'b'gmilut hasadim. What it means, gmilut hasadim? Main kindness. When a person will learn Torah and main kindness, there is no higher level than that. And Hazal guarantee that if you learn Torah and main kindness, I'm guarantee you that you survive those 10 births of the Mashiach. Nothing going to happen. So who doesn't want it? Here's the answer. Hazal tell us in the Gemara. Ya'asok b'Torah u'b'gmilut hasadim. Everyone must learn Torah, obviously to the level that he can, the level that he understands. You understand? You can't suddenly start tomorrow and saying, listen, I'm going to start reading the Zohar and I can understand the Zohar. Or I can take Sefer Pri Eitz Chaim of Ari HaKadosh and I can, you wouldn't find your head there. You wouldn't find even your shoes there. Never mind, lehavdil, lehavdil. You wouldn't know where you are. You have to go stage by stage. You can start Mikra, Mishnah, Gemara. There is plenty halachot that we have to learn. Musar, that's why I brought the Musar at the beginning of the show. How important is it? That the Gaon Vilna cried when he heard what Magid Miduvna have to tell him, Rabbi Yaakov Mikrens. All of this we need. That's the most important. The basic. We start with the basic. Do gmilut hasadim. Help people. Wherever you can to help people, there is no higher protection than that. You want a guardians? This is your guardians. You follow, Eitan. You learn Torah? The Zohar say, Magna u'Matchla. What does it mean, Magna u'Matchla? That's in Aramaic. Hazal say, Magna u'Matchla, Megina, it protect you. U'Matchla, she actually gonna be save you. That means if you learn Torah, it's going to protect you from all bad things, and it's going to save you from all other bad things that come into the world. So you want a protection, and you want a guardian. Torah, only Torah, and that's what we're trying to do. That's what I've done on Hoshana Rabbah. We done this marathon of 4 hours, and Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm planning to do again marathon with more rabbis. The rabbi was so excited to do again. We'll do one day that is a public holiday or there is any holiday that we have a break, that people don't have to wake up in the morning to run to work, to jump on a wagon, to do again another few shorim for a few hours. You know, the commentary that I got, that people were so happy that they enjoy. It's beyond understanding. And that's what we have to do. So if a person can teach Torah, we can teach Torah. A person can do Gmilut Hasadim. And Gmilut Hasadim is a wide range of Gmilut Hasadim. If you can help a people to solve problem that there is, that you know that halachically they correct, what there is bigger thing than that? Gmilut Hasadim, it's peace between a husband and a wife, between two people that have a fight, that have paribol, and you bring peace between them. That's Gmilut Hasadim. I'm giving you simple. A person needs to change a tire because he has a puncture and he doesn't know, and you help him. That's Gmilut Hasadim. To say to a person, I go one step forward, to say to a person, good morning, how are you? To give him a good feeling, to boost him, to look after him, that's Gmilut Hasadim. You done Gmilut Chesed. That's what we need now. Hazal tell us, Ma ya'aseh adam v'yinatzel mechevlo shel Mashiach. What a person can do. Hazal given us the answer and the question. What are you going to do in this world to survive those difficult times? Yilmad Torah v'ya'aseh Gmilut Hasadim. Learn Torah and do mankindness. That's all. What more difficult? Hazal didn't tell you, take a person, pay him $1 million. No, you can pay him $1. It's already Gmilut Chesed. Look after people. People need help. People need the good words. That's Gmilut Chesed. You follow, Eitan? I hope I answer your question correctly. Thank you. Thank you very much. Eitan, by the way, you look Baruch Hashem well. I love to see your smile. Baruch Hashem, you're looking well. Eitan Ben Hadassah, we're davening for you. Baruch Hashem. Please God refuah shlema speedily.
Amen. Thank you, Rob. I'm a bit of an angle here because I'm lying on the bed, but thank you for that. It's really chazek me. And when you send me a little, like you say, Gemur Chassidim, you send me a little tmuna in the morning. You say good morning. You know, it brings a smile to me. It's a little thing today with the technology. It's so easy to do Gemur Chassidim. We can send a smile, a picture, you know, a bracha, whatever. So it means a lot. And I really appreciate you always asking me how I'm doing. So I really feel special. So thank you. I thank you for your chasadim in giving me chizuk to get through this difficult time.
Be'ezrat Hashem, we should all merit to do together Seudat Hodaya speedily and quickly with no pain for you.
Wow.
Amen, amen, amen.
Good. Guys, any other question maybe you have? If not, we already almost 1.5 hours. Please God that the people at ESCOM forget themselves and we're not going to have a load shedding.
It wasn't ESCOM, it was City Power.
It's the city power. Okay, sorry. Sorry, Mr. Electrician, Louis. Excuse my ignorance.
No problem, Rabbi, no problem.
Okay.
They do
Rabotai, I would like to take the opportunity
wonderful
to wish
things.
all of you Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rav. Shabbat
And
Shalom.
please God, the mitzvot that we'll do will bring the Mashiach. Look at the beautiful rain
Amen.
that we're having
Amen,
outside.
amen.
Dr. Les said that it's raining. Dr. Les, we say Meshiv Ruach Umorid HaGeshem. Not few days after that, South Africa have a beautiful rain.
Yeah,
And Be'ezrat
wonderful
Hashem,
rain.
that most important, that Eretz HaKodesh will have. But it was a thundering and the lightning. I just missed it because I wanted to say the bracha and you will all say Amen. But it's gone too quickly, so I didn't have a chance. Shekocho Gvurato Malei Olam. But Be'ezrat Hashem, I would like to wish you a good night to all of you.
Okay.
Be'ezrat Hashem, to enjoy Shabbos and to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our days. Shabbat
And we'll
Shalom.
meet everybody on Sunday night. We'll meet everybody on Sunday night.
Shalom. Sekayach Ralph.
Rabbi, can I ask you just one question on the lightning and the thunder? As far as I learned, I could be wrong, is that you have to see the lightning in order to say the bracha for the thunder, because sometimes you hear thunder and it might just be like a boom or something. So you can't say Baruch Matei Olam if you just hear thunder. You have to see the lightning and then say the bracha, and then if there's thunder, then say the thunder. Is that right, or am I got it wrong?
You have to see it because there is two brachot. Birkat HaRe'amim veBirkat HaBarakim. Two different brachot. Okay? If you hear it, and usually when you hear it, you see the light coming outside. Even if you're in your room, you don't see the sky, but you can see the entire thing lightning. So if you hear it, you say Baruch Atah Hashem shekocho gvurato malei olam.
But you have to see the lightning to say Aseh Maaseh Bereshit. You have to see the lightning without.
Yes. When you see it, the lightning, when there is no thundering, when you don't hear the noise, there's a different situation. I'm talking about when you hear the noise.
But you hear it and you don't see the lightning, you don't say the bracha. Correct?
Why? You say if you hear it, and you can see the light, you don't see it directly, you see it through the window, you can see that
if you hear it, if you hear it but you don't see the lightning, I heard that you don't say the bracha because you don't know what sound it could be, a boom in the background or something. You have to hear it with still seeing the lightning, whether it's a flash or whatever it is. You still have to.
That's what I'm saying. That when you say it's the noise and the light that you see through your window. You don't have to look to the sky. That's what I'm saying. You follow?
And then Aseh Maaseh Bereshit only said when you see the lightning.
Only when you see the light, you don't hear the thundering. You follow?
And if you hear and see both at the same time,
then you have to say
And that covers for both.
That's the string, yeah. Be'ezrat Hashem.
Okay.
You follow?
Yes, thank you.
Shukran. Okay,
Shabbat
good
shalom.
night. All the best,
Shabbat shalom,
everyone.
Rav. Thank
Enjoy
you.
the rest
Thank
of
you
the
very
night.
much.
Right, Rob. Thank you.
Hashem B'Yom Rishon. We'll see you all on Sunday night.
Oh,
Yes,
mate.
Hashem. Yes,
Shabbat
Hashem.
shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Good
Shabbat
night.
shalom, Rav. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.